Ladies and gentlemen, I've always opined on this platform that in politics, there are only two constants. The first constant in politics is normally interest. As long as the interest of politicians can converge, they will always work together. And right now in this country, the interest of Esther Passaris and those of Raila Odinga are not converging, which means Esther Passaris will not work with Raila Odinga. Her interest only converge with those of William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. And that's why Passaris voted for a strong yes to a bill, which Azimio and ODM Party are saying a big no to. And the second constant in politics is normally betrayal. Esther Passaris is a politician today in this country, courtesy of Raila Odinga. She has actually betrayed Raila Odinga, and that's expected in politics. In this video, I want to try and explain to you guys why personally I strongly believe that Raila Odinga should kick Esther Passaris out of ODM Party after voting yes to the finance bill. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us get straight into the point. We all know that today, the members of parliament voted for the finance bill 2023. And I think 176 members of parliament voted yes to the bill, and 81 members of parliament voted no to the bill. And another significant thing which you need to note is that over 112 members of parliament did not vote for this bill. So far, I'm really interested in knowing the members of parliament who did not vote, who were absent. But if you look at the voting now, there are certain things which are very clear. That those people who voted no to this bill, they did it. Those are now the people who are loyal to Raila Odinga. And of course, those who voted yes, you can't really say so, because this voting was not through secret ballot. I'm sure and I'm 100% that if this vote had been secret ballot, probably the figures would have changed a bit. But I'm waiting to see in the final vote when these 112 members of parliament who are absent will be voting. Bob Owino is currently trending online because he did not vote, which is significant. Jalango mwenyewe did not vote. But Esther Passaris voted for this particular bill. And why do you think Esther Passaris should be kicked out of ODM Party? Now, let me just give you some interesting facts which came out of this vote. If you look at Nyanza, there were 7 members of parliament who went to State House. And it was expected that these 7 members of parliament were going to vote for this bill. Most of them have been silent. As fate would have it, only 2 voted yes. It means only 2 had the courage. Probably if there was a secret ballot, maybe more would have voted yes. The 2 are the gay member of parliament, Elisha Odhiambo, and Omondi Karoli. So if you ask me, out of the 7 members of parliament who went to William Ruto and were working with him, I'm 100% sure that he can only now bank on those 2. The rest either feared or they chickened out. So that's something which is significant. The other thing which I also observed is that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has loyal troops. He can bank on his members of parliament. Almost most of them voted no to this particular bill, which in my view gives Kalonzo head start over any other political formation in Azimio. Because apart from ODM, we have Wiper, Jubilee, of course, went the other side. So for me, that's important. The other important thing which I noted during this vote is that Mount Kenya members of parliament, most of them voted yes to this particular bill. And if you look at those who are absent, majority of them are also coming from the mountain, which means there are people there who feared being seen voting against this bill. But the fact is, those who voted in parliament today from the mountain, majority of them voted for this bill, which means William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, still has a lot of say over these particular members of parliament from the mountain. The other important thing, which also came out very clearly, is that the Kalenjin nation voted for this bill, which means they are fully under William Ruto. They are protecting the presidency. So that's important. But again, no member of parliament who was present abstained. I saw Otinda Molo in parliament, and he prosecuted this particular bill so well, but he never voted. In fact, I was looking at the voting pattern from Siaya, and I was shocked that in Siaya, 2 MPs voted yes, 2 MPs voted no, 2 MPs were absent. That's something which Opiyo Wandayi and Sam Atandi voted no. Elisha and Ochieng voted yes. Ochanda, who is William Ruto, abstained, and Otinda Molo. Were absent and Otinda Molo. But let us get back into the main subject of this video, which is Esther Passaris. If you were to write a book about Esther Passaris, then that book will not fail to have the name Raila Odinga in her political journey. In 2013, Rachel Shebesh became the women rep for Nairobi, Manziwa, Nairobi. In 2017, Esther Passaris came. Because remember, in 2013, I think there was a Kamba lady who was contesting on Wiper who was proposed. So in 2017, Esther Passaris came to ODM. As fate would have it, she became a women representative. In 2022, Esther Passaris was not that very popular. And despite the fact that Jubilee sponsored a gubernatorial candidate who was a Kikuyu, Raila Odinga resisted any pressure to sponsor another candidate as a women rep. By that time, there was a Kisi lady who ODM really wanted to be the women rep. Former senator, what was her name? But Raila insisted on Passaris. And you know how politics of Nairobi is played. Siasa ya Nairobi is about tribes. It's tribal arithmetics. So it was expected that Passaris was going to stick with Raila Odinga. But because of charm offensive from Rigathi Gachagua, she's been unable. I remember the last time she had tried to attend Azimio meeting, I think she was kicked out. And she has told so many people that for her, she's decided she's on Kenya Kwanza until a year to election. And for me, that's why I tend to think that Raila Odinga must kick him out. Because number one, there is a political betrayal, which is clear. You can't cling on someone, you can't use someone all through. Then when they really need you, that's the moment you leave. You know, I've picked on Passaris, not because Passaris is the only one who voted no. I mean, who voted yes from ODM. There are several others. But if you compare Passaris to the rest, Passaris should actually be the last. Just like I have a big problem when I read whatever Jakaki Passaris is posting on Facebook and, you know, trying to castigate Raila Odinga. You know, people who just, they exist because of Raila Odinga. So Passaris voting no and working with Kenya Kwanza, failing to join Maandamano, is an act of betrayal. Because Passaris cannot claim that the people of Nairobi, she's supporting the bill because of housing, while the tax is being increased, fuel levy, which is going to make even life more difficult for the people of Nairobi. Number two, Raila Odinga must also kick her to stamp his authority in ODM Party. There is this joke in ODM Party that, you know, you can just do whatever you want to do. Then towards the elections time, then you make a comeback. You go meet who, you meet who, you meet who, then everything will just be okay. So Raila must stamp his authority. And I also tend to think that it will also help Passaris to choose a side. If she wants to be with Kenya Kwanza, it's her right, political right, which must be respected. But she has to choose a side, be on that side. So for me, if you ask me, kicking Passaris out of ODM Party is something which Raila Odinga and Azimio, and ODM for that matter, must take as a matter of urgency. Because remember, the other time she disappeared, then when Passaris saw Rachel Shebesh trying to make a comeback to ODM and to Azimio activities, then she tried to make a comeback. This is now also the time for Rachel to make a comeback. Rachel Shebesh, this is your time to make a comeback to ODM Party and fill that gap. If not, someone else should fill that gap. Because for Passaris, I think having served 2 terms, maybe she's not so sure. I don't know what to think. Do you think Raila should let Passaris just be? Let me hear your opinion. Bye-bye.